Hi, I'm Susan from Maine Snap Ed, and today we're going to be making whole wheat blueberry muffins. So it's one of my favorite muffin recipes. So today you're going to need some whole wheat flour. I'm using this white whole wheat flour. You're going to need some sugar. You're going to need some milk, so I'm using 1%. You're going to need some unsweetened applesauce, some baking powder, blueberries, vegetable oil, applesauce. You're going to need about 1/3 cup of milk. If you don't do cow's milk, you can use any kind of milk alternative. So if it's an almond milk or an oat milk, rice milk, they all work. You'll need 1 egg, and I think that's it. All right, so let's get started. All right, so step 1 is to make sure your oven is preheated to 400 degrees. So I've already done that, and I've already pre-greased my muffin tin. So I just took a little bit of spray vegetable oil and sprayed each one. All right, so we're gonna mix our flour, our sugar, our baking powder, and our salt in the bowl first. So that's step 1. So I've already got 1.5 cups of flour all measured out. So I'm just gonna dump that in. You need about 3/4 cup of sugar. And my salt was mixed in the sugar. All right, now I need 2 teaspoons of baking powder. So whenever your recipe calls for flour, if you use a whole grain flour, such as white whole wheat or regular whole wheat, or another whole grain flour, it's a great way to get some extra nutrients and fiber in that recipe. All right, so I've got my dry ingredients. So I'm just gonna blend that together really quick. All right, so I'm gonna set that aside, and I'm gonna grab a new bowl for our wet ingredients. So now I need my vegetable oil, my egg, my applesauce, and my milk. So you need about 1/3 cup of vegetable oil. So I've already got that measured out here. So that's 1/3 cup. So you can use vegetable oil or canola oil, whatever you have on hand. All right, you need about 1/3 cup of low-fat milk. So I've already got mine measured out. You need 1/2 cup of applesauce. So again, I'm using non-sweetened or unsweetened. If you are using a sweetened applesauce, just make sure you reduce the sugar that you put in your dry ingredients. All right, and now you need 1 egg. All right, so once you've got all that, you can go ahead and mix that up. And you just want to mix it until it's all kind of combined and smooth. You'll see the ingredients try to separate from the oil, so just keep mixing. All right, so that looks like it's all mixed up. So now I'm gonna add my wet ingredients to my dry ingredients, and I'm just gonna keep stirring as I add it in. And then we'll mix that up all good. If you have an electric mixer or a food processor, you can use that appliance as well. You don't have to hand mix it. All right, so it looks like I've mixed that all up and good. So now it's time to add our blueberries. So I've got 2 cups of blueberries already measured out. I'm using half frozen and half fresh. So I had about 1/2 cup to a cup of blueberries already in the freezer. So I'm using those first, and then I filled the rest of my measuring cup with fresh blueberries. So I'll add those in. And then we're going to stir those together. Just kind of fold them in there. And if you didn't like blueberries and you wanted to maybe swap it out with a different berry or a different fruit, maybe some strawberries or raspberries, or you could do this with apples, that's totally fine too. So you'd still use 2 cups of whatever fruit you choose. All right, so that's what it looks like when the batter is all done. So I'm just going to clear some of this stuff out of the way so I can move my muffin pan to the table, and then we can just scoop it and put it in the oven. All right, so we've got our batter and we've got our muffin tin. So we're going to fill all of these about 3/4 of the way. So I'm just going to take a measuring cup because it's easier for me that way. And we're just going to fill them in. And this recipe should make about 12 servings. All right, so we've portioned out all of our muffin tins. So there's 12 here, and it makes 12 servings. So now it's time to go plop it in the oven. So I'm gonna go put it in for about 20 minutes or so, basically just until they're golden brown on top. And you can always test out to see if they are done or not by doing the toothpick test. So you'll take a toothpick and you'll stick it in the middle, and if you pull it out and it's wet, you know it needs to keep cooking just a little bit longer. If it's dry, then they're done and they're ready to sit.